Thanks for the warning, Mr. So, we're going to start. We have this enigmatic title for tonight's talk, which is You Know What to Do. And it's related to what I've been talking about in class this week. But there was a kid, a junior wushu kid, this darling young lady, Violetta, in our junior wushu class. And I heard her dad talking with one of the other parents in class today. And I said, what did you just say? And he said, Violetta told me today, you know what to do. And she's like this tall. She's, I believe, 5, maybe like max. And I said, what was she talking about? She said, like, he always, her dad kind of has a hard time sometimes getting to class in time to watch her. And so she had talked about this before, like, you need to make a plan to get there in time to see me. And instead of explaining it a second time to her dad today, she just said, you know what to do. And that's kind of like a tone that I want this phrase to have in your mind. You know what to do. Because this is about these ideas that you already know. These are things that you've heard. These are things that you know you're supposed to be doing. And you're not really doing it at all. You're not doing it as much as you should be. So that it's related to the challenge of the week. The challenge of the week is drinking water. Drink enough water. And this is one that Catherine came up with, but I had been thinking about as well, because we're both kind of, for whatever health reasons, just trying to drink more water. This is something that somebody had told me recently, like if your joints are hurting, could be dehydration, could be just not getting enough water. It's like, oh, you know, start drinking more water. And for Catherine, also, her doctor's telling her to drink more water, or somebody was telling her that. So anyways, when you actually sit down and think about how much water you're supposed to drink, it's kind of, to me, an atrocious amount of water. It seems like way overkill, what, WebMD at least, or what the experts say you're supposed to do, which is you take your weight in pounds, cut it in half, and that's the number of ounces that you're supposed to drink. So for me, it's somewhere around a gallon of water. For some people, it's more like 2 liters, but for some people, it's considerably more than that. And just to take the time and the mindfulness, the memory to drink that much water, for me, is very difficult. And even as it is, as I'm teaching class, I'll go out into the lobby, I'll take a drink of water, I'll come back out here and teach. But now I gotta go out and take like a gulp of water and just drink as much as I can cram in there before I come back out and teach. I have to keep doing that all day long just to get through like the minimum that I'm supposed to be drinking. And it seems just like a ridiculous amount of water for me to be drinking, and I know that I drink way more than a lot of other people drink water. I know people who I'll go out to dinner with them and they'll sit there and they'll eat a whole meal, spicy food. I look over at their water and at the end of the meal they have not touched it. They're not drinking anything. It's just like, I don't know how you can survive without just turning into dust, not drinking water. And yet we do it. But there are very few of us who haven't been told or haven't heard, you should be drinking more water. This is how much water you're supposed to be drinking. So they say like 8 glasses a day, that's not enough water. That's like the minimum if you were a toddler, how much water you should be drinking. But even that much, a lot of people don't drink even 8 glasses of water a day. And I was talking to one of the senior students the other night, and he said, well, the food that you eat, some of that has water in it too, so you can just like subtract that off of the total water that you should be drinking. And I said, if you're really drinking a lot of other water, you could probably like get away with drinking a little bit less than they really say is the absolute minimum that you should be drinking if you're taking into account the other water that you're getting from your food. But really, I don't think that you should do that. Most of us who aren't being very exact with the amount of water that we're drinking in, you should just drink as much as you can. But you can obviously go overboard. So I know somebody personally who got taken to the hospital because she drank so much water that she went into some kind of state, I forget what it's called, and like I think her brain starts to swell, pressure because like Catherine was explaining this to me, like every cell in your body starts to expand when you drink too much water. None of us are in danger of that happening, like on a regular basis. If you start to get a headache from drinking so much water, okay, stop. But in general, we need to drink more water. And I'm going to be done talking about water for now. But the basic concept of this is something that I've heard, and it's something that I've heard for years, and I just always thought that, I'll look into that later on. Or I'm probably kind of doing it enough. I lied. I'm going to talk so much more about drinking water. So for me, that was the way that I always thought about it. And I always wondered, unrelatedly, why when I work out hard, I don't sweat that much. And I thought I must be in such amazing shape that even when I work out really hard, it's just not that hard, so I don't sweat. And then I realized this when I actually started drinking enough water at the beginning of this week to do the challenge. I started sweating. And so I just haven't been drinking enough water, really. So this got me thinking about what else am I doing that's like this in my life? And what else are the students doing? That you have heard probably many times in your life that you should do this, you should do that, and you know and you agree with it, and yet you don't do it. Or you agree with it and you even did it for a time, and then you stop doing it. So C.B. Brown used to ask us all the time, have you ever done something that worked so well that you stopped doing it? And a perfect example of this is like eating right. Maybe you're trying to lose X amount of weight and you change your diet and you live your life with this change until you get what you wanted. I dropped those 5 pounds and then I go, okay, well, I'm done with that, and I go right back to eating the way that I did before. Well, those pounds are going to come right back on, like faster than you can sneeze. So that is an example that I think a lot of people can relate to. Not many of us in this room, but if you have had something that you decided this is something that I should do, and then you actually tried to do it, and then it worked, and you got what you wanted, and then you stopped doing it. That's just another version of the same thing. So we'll take this opportunity to ask you guys if there's anything like that, and I don't have to put your name or your face on camera if you don't really want to admit to all the millions of people who are watching this talk right now in the world, but something like this, something that you have always heard that you should do and you just have never really done it, or something that you know that you're supposed to do and you did it at some point and then you just stopped doing it. Yes, Dan?
Well, this is something I don't do enough, but I know 7 to 8 hours is optimal.
Yes, sleeping enough. We've talked about this several times, have we not?
Yeah, so the trade-off was that I slept in today and I slept on good last night. I 8 hours of sleep.
I got it. So, getting enough sleep. 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And a lot of people out there struggle with this. I'm not one of them. I get plenty of sleep. Pretty much every night of my life, 7 to 8 hours. Sometimes a little bit more. But I don't go short on sleep. And it's not because I'm totally dead if I wake up otherwise. It's just that I have designed my life and it works great for me to sleep that long. But I've got plenty of other things. Anybody have another example? Something like this they can think of? All you guys just have splendid habits.
So I did it for a while and stopped, and I just started doing it again. Keep a calendar, a planner.
So is it like a daily thing, like down to the hour, or it's like this day I need to get done this, the next day I've got to get done this?
It's not completely filled in every day, but daily.
Daily, I've got stuff that I'm doing this day, I've got stuff that I'm doing the next day. Yeah, so what's the difference then between when you were doing it, when you weren't doing it, now that you're doing it again?
I'm getting more, I'm doing less, but getting more done.
Yeah, great. Doing less, like working smarter, not harder, right? It's getting better results, you're getting stuff done, and you're not just running around. Yeah, this was a huge thing for me. And I wish that I could say that it came completely from martial arts, but kind of like you, I used to do it, I stopped doing it, and then I heard it again, and I was like, yeah, I remember I used to be like a very effective human being, and now I don't do so much anymore. And so then I started doing it again. Yeah, when you know that this is the time that I'm setting aside to do this, or this is the thing that I have to get done by this day, and that's something that we've all heard, whether you put it in your phone or you carry around a physical book or whatever it is, just having that reminder of the things to do, you'll be way more effective. Anything else? Yes, ma'am?
Well, long ago, I used to get my taxes done on time, but since 2016, I do not. I just,
Getting your taxes done.
yeah,
But
now
we can extend that to other things, and maybe some people listening don't do taxes because they're in school, so you can say getting homework done. But like whatever it is, that thing that I put off. So this is not like a daily task or activity. This is a thing that I know that time of year is coming, and I just keep pretending that it's not. And then I finally have to get it done, or I go to jail because the IRS after me. I asked the kids this question in class today, and the first person raised their hand and said, making my bed. And I said, yeah, raise your hand if that's something that you know you're supposed to do and you don't do it. And almost everybody raises their hand except one kid puts her hand down, and her dad is helping me black coat in class, and he raises his hand. And she looked at him and she's like, he tells me to do it. And that's another talk, is what's the stuff that you tell people to do and that you don't take your own advice. But I thought that was pretty funny. What else? You got one, man? Journaling. That was just a challenge of the week recently.
and it worked great.
It worked great when you did it, and then you stopped doing it again? It was like, wasn't that just a couple of weeks ago?
It was.
That's how long it takes. Sure. Yeah, writing stuff down, whether it's journaling your thoughts or whatever happened, or you're journaling your martial arts journal, those are all great. So this is part of this talk is like how long it takes to go from doing the thing that you know you're supposed to be doing to not doing it anymore can be the blink of an eye. I mean, it can happen like this. Today I was doing it, tomorrow I'm not doing it. Yesterday I did it, today I'm not doing it. Or it can like actually just be, it's whatever the change that you undergo in your head that leads you down this path of no longer doing that. It's the decision that you make that goes like, it's okay, I'm gonna allow myself to be a little bit lazy and not do that. I didn't do it today, I'm still alive. I guess I don't really need to do it anymore. And you might make it consciously, you might make it subconsciously. I was talking to class at the end of the last class today about this, just being lazy with your technique and letting your partners be lazy. And I made this point, which will not necessarily directly connect to you if you're not doing something specifically martial arts related, but you can use it, kind of wrap your head around it in another way that will still help. We've had several students who've been attacked for real, and some of them with weapons. And there's a story that I tell all the time in class about one of our students back in Michigan who got attacked in broad daylight, was walking up the stairs in a parking garage and heard somebody running up behind him, turned just in time to see somebody lunging at him with a big knife, moved out of the way, took the guy's arm, broke it, took the knife, and defended himself. And called up Sifu Brown almost immediately and said, I gotta talk to you. Sifu Brown could tell he was very upset, so I met him at the dojo right away, and the student brought in a knife that almost ended up in his belly and said, every day martial arts makes me a better person, but today martial arts saved my life. And I want you to have this. And so, this is the kind of stuff you see in movies, and you think like, that's really cool. It's not gonna happen to me, but it happened to one of our students. And it has happened, to other varying degrees to other students of ours. And there's no telling who might have gotten seriously injured or killed if they hadn't been practicing with the kind of intensity they've been practicing with. And you hear me yell at you guys all the time to keep your hands up. You hear me yell at you all the time to go faster, to go harder. And these are things that you know that you should do. And you're always making the choice between I'm doing it or I'm not doing it. And if you can get your head into this kind of understanding or have this kind of attitude about it, like this thing could literally save my life, or the intensity that I'm practicing with could be the difference for my partner, saving their life. This student who got stabbed out with a knife, if he'd been practicing on his own intensely, but his other partners hadn't been practicing intensely with him, stabbing at him when we practiced in class with the wooden knives. That's what these things are, in case you guys are watching at home or wondering what these are. They're wooden knives that we use. And if he hadn't had that experience over the years of intense practice and all of the repetition, he might be underground right now. And this is something that sounds a little bit gruesome and a little bit dramatic, but it's real. And you might say, okay, during class, that makes sense. I gotta really pay attention and work hard and keep my hands up and work my partner and do all of that. But if I don't make my bed, am I gonna die? Probably not. But if you go into it with that kind of intensity, and you go into it with that, that kind of intention, with anything that you really want to create as a habit, or anything that you know is something that you should be doing and you're not doing, that could be the difference between you doing it and not. You're not going to be able to fool yourself into thinking that this is life or death in a actual sense of I'm going to end up being killed if I don't make my bed, but I can still muster the same kind of intensity that I do in practice. This is what we do on a large level, on a deep level, is we practice with this kind of intensity. We practice creating this kind of attitude and this kind of mindfulness and awareness, this kind of attention to detail, because we know that on a physical level, self-defense, if our technique is right, it could be the difference between life and death. But it's also the difference between us being present in the moment or not. It's the difference between us being alive in the truest sense, or just kind of being like a zombie going through life, just allowing things to happen to us. And so then that should carry out into everything else that we do. And I get to decide, I'm doing this thing because it's something that I know is important for me to do. It's something that I'm choosing to do. And I'm not just going to be lazy and give up on myself. I'm going to take the same kind of intensity that I have with practice and do this with it. And it doesn't mean that I got to make my bed, angry. But it's like I talk about doing Tai Chi, washing the dishes, because one day I recognized that I was really tense. It seems like the flip side, but when we practice Tai Chi, we really focus on being relaxed and focusing on the breath and being in the moment. And one day I recognized that doing the dishes, I was the opposite of that. I was very tense and rigid and kind of angry at the dishes, and I thought I should apply the same type of attitude that I do while I'm doing Tai Chi to doing the dishes right now. And then I was able to focus on my breathing as I'm scrubbing the dish. I'm inhaling and I'm exhaling as I rinse the dish off. And it becomes a moving meditation, because I'm putting myself in the same kind of headspace. And I'm entering into it with the same kind of attitude and the same kind of intensity. Intensity doesn't have to mean like anger or like physically working hard. It can mean the intensity of focus in this moment. I am completely and utterly present. And that's often the thing that's going to make the difference between us doing the things that we know we are supposed to do and the things that we have decided to do and just not doing it. Because we're being lazy, because we're getting complacent, because we say it's okay. It's okay. And as soon as you decide in this moment that it's okay, then it becomes so easy. It's not even like a boulder rolling down the hill, it's like a boulder rolls off the cliff and just goes ka-thump, and that's it. That's kind of how quickly and easily it can happen. And this is something that I've noticed countless times in my own life. If I take making the bed, this is actually something that I used to do when I was younger, stopped doing it for a while, and then started doing it again. And, you know, it's an interesting thing because making your bed in and of itself is not that important. Especially me, because nobody else is seeing that my bed is not made. There's nobody there to complain about it. But, you know, what we do, the first thing when we wake up, we make our bed, it kind of gets us going down the road of, now the rest of my day is going to have this kind of intentionality to it. I'm going to do things the right way. And those little tasks are often the easiest ones to give up on. And I've noticed, you know, more recently than I would love to admit, that if one day I don't make my bed, the next 3 days I'm also not making my bed, because I wake up and I look at it and I go, I should really make that bed. I didn't make it yesterday. I'm still alive. It's okay. Nobody complained about it. But then also as soon as you start getting back into the habit and, you know, deciding, like, it's the same type of thing. You know, if you attach some other kind of meaning or some other kind of benefit that you're going to get out of doing it, it's got some intensity, then you'll do it. You'll start doing it regularly, and that's what I'm getting out of drinking water, to bring it full circle back to water. So I'm not drinking water just because it's nice to drink water. I'm drinking water because I believe that it's going to make me healthier. I believe that everything that I do, my body is going to function better. I'm going to have less pain. I'm going to be able to move better. And let's be honest, none of us are getting younger, even you. So start drinking water now and see what kind of, you know, benefit, what kind of dividend it's going to pay down the line. And sometimes for me, it's the same thing with stretching. And I see that the older that I get, the more it starts to hurt just to sit and meditate. And that's something that I never even considered. Like, there's going to be a time where it will hurt for me to do a long meditation. And meditation is very important to me. So I started thinking, like, if I don't start stretching now, and if I'm not drinking water now, I'm not doing the things that I need to do now to take care of my body, I'm going to end up as just a total useless lump that can't even sit and meditate. And then, you know, I'm not going to be able to kick people in the head anymore. I'm not even going to be able to get my own head right. I'm not going to, like, the whole idea of getting enlightened and whatever else I want to get out of my life, it's all out the window. So, without getting overly dramatic to a point that we are walking around stressed out all day long, we want to attach some kind of intensity to these things that we do. And, you know, stop making excuses for ourselves. Stop being lazy with this. You know what to do. The difference is to just do it. And meditation is one, I'm sure, for some of us in class today, and definitely people watching, that you know you've heard for years, not just from me, but from countless sources. This is something to do every day. And if you let one day slip, you're likely to let the next few days slip. But if every day you do it with renewed intensity, you see, this is the thing that's going to make the difference in everything else in my life, then you'll do it.